Welcome back, everybody, to Rantpocalypse Talks The Walking Dead. I'm Justin,
Hey, I'm Kelly, and I just happen to be Justin's mom. So you
the
just happen to be my son.
the bestest mom ever. That's piercing my body right now with her hand. Just now,
Oh,
you literally did like the. Well, I forget what movie that is, but it's The Flash. It's from the TV show The
yeah.
Flash. Whenever they have this trick where they like make their hands go so fast that they go right through somebody's body and kills them. I'm dying. Sorry for those people that are listening via audio right now. You're totally not getting that, but we've been having a whole lot of fun with our green screens that we
Yeah,
got just recently, and trying to class up the joint on our videos.
exactly.
We're trying to bring you guys and gals some at least we're trying to mask the horribleness with
Yeah.
really sexy visuals behind us.
Oh.
Not
Do we have
us.
Rick
I
up?
didn't. I
Do
didn't
we
mean
have Rick
us.
up on screen?
No, no. We just got the plain old
Oh,
Walking Dead
oh,
logo, and I say the plain old.
yeah.
It's one of my favorite logos of all time. So we just watched the mid-season premiere, which was entitled "The Rock and the Road." It was season 7, episode 9. What did you think about this episode, Mom?
I had a really great time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was nice because we do have everybody back together again. We see them on kind of I guess, a mission to recruit the kingdom, which at this point didn't work out so great.
Not so
But
great.
still,
Didn't.
but but it was good. I didn't feel like a huge loss of hope. Like, oh, we're going to go back to Alexandria and get our ass kicked.
I agree. It didn't feel like that way at all in this episode. It is kind of weird when you compare how we ended in episode 8 with all of the death that happened with Olivia losing her life, and with Spencer losing his
Yeah,
life. It definitely felt like our group had a lot more hope than they probably should have after those horrific deaths at the
right.
end of episode 8. But I'm with you. I really enjoyed this episode as well. It was funny. Right before we started this review, I just pulled up and Googled The Walking Dead season 7, episode 9, "Rockin' the Road," just to kind of gauge what the internet is saying about the
Hmm.
episode. And apparently, Forbes hates the shit out of this episode because their description, their title for this review was it was quite harsh, quite mean. It said The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 9 review, a disastrous mid-season premiere. I'm not entirely sure what episode this guy was watching,
Yeah.
because I didn't think it was disastrous at all. I honestly, compared to some of the episodes that we had in the front half of Season 7, I thought it was much. I'm not going to say much better because I liked all the episodes that we had so
Right.
far. They just definitely seemed a little bit disjointed. But you could not say that about this episode at all. We kind of touched on a little bit of everything. We touched
Yeah.
on the hilltop. We touched on the kingdom. We touched on Alexandria. We touched on the saviors a little bit as well. So you had all those storylines converging, and a entirely new group at the end of the episode.
That was crazy. Who are those people? How is it that I mean, I love that we keep coming on these new groups that we have not seen before. They're not too terribly far away from Alexandria, I'm
Yeah.
assuming. And this is a large group. I loved Rick's smile, which was a little out of place, a little odd. I guess for me, it just says that he's thinking, okay, now we
Yeah.
have some numbers. Now we can recruit these people and make them fight.
Yeah, that was my feeling as well. That he was like, "Oh shit, it's
Yeah,
on." These people got guns, they got weapons, and they
yeah,
look
yeah,
like they're ready to fight.
yeah.
It's going to be very interesting to see what happens in next week's episode with this group because yeah, it is a little bit out of place for Rick to be smiling like that whenever you've got guns and knives and hammers and all this kind of stuff pointed
And it's
directly at you.
super unhappy people.
Yeah, they
They
didn't
weren't
have.
happy to see him.
No, they didn't have smiles on their faces or anything. They all kind of looked like they were ready to poop. And that's kind of the general faces that
Yeah,
I noticed was like I got a poop face.
constipation face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or yeah, constipation face. I think is even more apt for their visual appearances that they had whenever they met Rick. But I'm excited to find out more about that group, and I really liked a whole lot about this episode.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed seeing Gregory interact with Rick. Xander Berkeley is just destroying the character of Gregory. We both commented while we were watching it live together that it was just so much fun to see him. He just embellishes this
Yes.
shit heel role so well.
Hmm.
So I really
He
enjoyed it.
embraced his asshole.
He he did. He definitely embraced his asshole. I do not remember. Was that from our podcast?
That was from our podcast. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. He definitely embraced his asshole, and he's doing a very good job of that. And I don't blame him at all. He doesn't want to get in any more trouble
Yeah.
with the Saviors. He's already seen that, hey, I made this deal with Rick and company. You guys didn't deliver. Your folks got killed. They came here immediately afterwards and tried to kill a lot of our folks. So as much as I want to say Gregory is a coward, because he is, on the same token, who wouldn't be like, hey, take your ass out the back door because
Right.
I don't want any of the saviors seeing that you guys came here.
The hilltop has such a small number of people that
Yeah.
they're really not. They're not super helpful anyway.
No, they're not well equipped
Right.
to go to battle, because at this point, all we know of the hilltop is that Jesus is their best warrior, and he's
Hmm.
already basically gallivanting with Rick and company all the time
Right.
anyway. So he's kind of leaving them high and dry most of the time.
Yeah.
With Gregory, because he's definitely not equipped to battle.
So how did you feel about Ezekiel turning them down?
I was a little bit disappointed in that. But I again, I understand that as well. It sucks
Hmm.
because you want to see him immediately go to war, because who wouldn't want to go to war after that rock in the road story that Rick Grimes gave to everybody? I mean, holy shit, that was one of the best stories that I've heard on
Okay.
television. It was so
Okay,
good.
that would make you want to fight. That
Oh,
would make
hell
you go,
yeah.
"Oh my God, yes."
I'm picking up my bow staff. I'm picking up my rocks and my
Yeah.
hammer and everything,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna go kill some motherfucking saviors at that point, because
Yeah.
yeah, that story that he delivered, it was such a
There's
good story.
gold in them there heels, you know.
Is that what you got out of it?
No, no, yeah.
It
I
was.
know.
I did like it. Did it not make you go like you wanted to go fight and you wanted to go battle whenever he was? I mean, I know you looked in Rick Grimes' eyes.
I'm just telling you, anything he says, I'll follow him anywhere. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So you would have followed him into battle at that point. But no, I wasn't disappointed. I'm glad that they did step up and say that they can protect Daryl. Because at this point, Daryl's definitely going to need protection, because as we hear on the walkie-talkie with Negan, that was
Yeah.
hilarious, giving basically Fat Joey's obituary
Oh
over
my
the
God.
walkie-talkies.
Because without Fat Joey, Skinny Joey is, I don't remember exactly what he said, but
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. And it's true. I mean, you have to have Fat Joey to go along with Skinny Joey. I felt so bad for Daryl being left behind again.
Yeah.
They should have left somebody behind with him.
Well, he's
I
got
guess
Morgan and Carol, though. See, that's the thing. He will have Morgan and Carol. So I do think that's what's interesting, right?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah. He's going to get to meet back up with Carol. It's been a while. I think he might help get her on board with, getting out of the funk of being passive.
Yeah, I think he will, and it's going to be even more interesting to me whenever Daryl has to deliver the bad news, because that was one of the biggest moments in this episode. Which there were a lot of big moments in this episode, but that was one of the saddest for sure.
Yeah.
Whenever Rick and everybody had to deliver the news to not only King Ezekiel, but Morgan was standing right there that the Saviors had killed Glenn and Abraham and Spencer and Olivia.
It'll be a lot worse for Carol because
Yeah.
obviously she was much more invested in them. Morgan, he barely knew them. So
Yeah. I guess that's kind of why it felt like it kind of got glazed over really quickly, because in my opinion, I would have thought that it would have had much more impact than it did. It's not to say that it didn't have an impact, but I was expecting that moment to just have rage, lots and lots of rage. But you're right. I think whenever we see that delivered to Carol, which they really need to do that in next week's episode, in my opinion, because then they're going to fall into the trap of where they're not cognizant of real-time time, and we're going to get Carol finding out like 8 months afterwards or something if they keep dragging this out, and it's just not going to have the same emotional impact and weight as it would if they had delivered that news to Carol, say in like episode 6 or 7 of last season.
So you were expecting,
not last season, excuse me, of the first
beginning
half of the
season. You were expecting Morgan to to rip off his shirt. You're like, oh hell no, kind of like that.
Yeah, he was gonna go Hulk Hogan. He's ripping his shirt off. You can't see it, but I've got the man meats hanging out. Sorry, everybody out there. I didn't want to go full man meats because I don't know if they would have took that down off of YouTube, but
they don't do those kind of things on YouTube.
I know on Twitch you get banned for that, or the girls do for sure. I'm pretty sure guys do as well. I mean,
really,
guys got boobies as well.
Exactly, that's true.
Yeah, I wanted him to Hulk out. I really did.
Yeah,
and then whenever he was so passive of, maybe we can find another way. Then I want to smack the shit out of Morgan at that point. I was like, come on, man. This is my boy Glenn. This is my boy Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer, you were somebody. You were a dude.
Yeah, you were there too.
Yeah, you were there. You I don't know if you really did anything. You got to bone Rosita before you died, so I think that's a good enough consolation prize for him as he needed.
Speaking of Rosita, how did you feel about her? I mean, she's got a really sour attitude, and I thought that, in the past, she and Sasha had been friendly to each other. This seemed a little bitchy.
That was very off-putting. I would probably rank that in one of my big negatives for this episode was that, because why did they? If they were going to go that road, they should have gone that road to begin with, where she was still very, not wanting to affiliate with Sasha. She was still a little bit upset about the fact that Sasha had taken her man, but they didn't do that. They immediately came together. That was almost like they had this sisterly bond of the fact that they
both had that same ginger.
Yeah, we both boned that ginger. But no, I hated that. That was really really annoying that they went that way, because I get that they're setting up potential storylines there, but that's not a storyline to me that needs to happen anymore. I like it more honestly now I thought that they were going to be friends, but apparently not, because Rosita definitely had the most sour disposition. She was just bitchy about everything in this episode. I will admit, there was, one of our viewers, Tom, you're awesome, said that he likes the new, I can't remember, bitchy Rosita or sassy Rosita. I can't remember what he said. And it didn't look good on her. She bitchy looks good on Rosita.
Everything looks good on her.
Everything does look good on Rosita, but it's not very often that you hear any dude say that about a girl, where they're like, bitchy looks so good on you. But it really did. It really did. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Morgan. I agree with you that I think it's going to be Carol is the one that's going to drive Morgan and Ezekiel, because if Ezekiel wants to get laid, speaking of going bone zoning and getting action, if he wants to get some action, he's going to have to get his people in line to go to war, because I don't think Carol will be too down for a man that doesn't want to take action against the Saviors after she finds out what has transpired, the fact that Glenn and Abraham and everybody else had gotten killed. Olivia too, because she had a nice little bond with Olivia. It wasn't much of a bond with Olivia, but you remember whenever she sort of saved Olivia whenever the wolves had attacked Alexandria, and she came up on her in the gun closet and everything, and Olivia thought she was going to be dead at that point, and she's like, it's just me. She took the mask that she had on down. So it's gonna be great whenever she finds out, but it's also gonna be really sad. So
that is gonna be super sad, and I'm like you. I hope that we don't wait too much further into the remainder of the season before that happens.
Yeah, me either. So we got to talk about it before we end this little quick mini review, because we'll be back later this week with our full thoughts in our podcast. We'll be breaking down the most important, the most talked about topics, and if you have something that you want us to discuss, definitely leave it in the comment box down below. But that epic ass walker kill.
Oh my
Holy shit.
God, that was so great. And I know as we were watching it, we're really, we're trying to figure out how are they going to do this. We see this
Yeah.
huge herd coming, and are they going to explode? Is Rosita going to make all of our survivors blow up because she's tinkering with the wires?
Yeah.
But I loved the cable kill. That was great.
It was phenomenal. It was so much fun just watching it. As Michonne and Rick. Now you've got to suspend disbelief for just a hot minute there because they kept their cars at the exact same speed. That was they're a hive mind right now.
Okay, exactly, because that's they if they hadn't gone to the bone zone,
that's what's going on.
Exactly, it wouldn't have happened that way. But I mean, they were like, okay, yeah, baby, let's go. Yeah.
It was pretty damn epic, and we were playing the Fantasy Death draft, and the Zompocalypse Fantasy 5 is the official name. And I've got Michonne and you've got Rick, so we were both competing of like, okay, who's gonna kill more? But it turned out to be they got equal kills out of that, which thank God for my team, Bad Bitches and a Dixon, best team name ever.
Yeah, that is a pretty good team name. Mine is My Two Dads because I have Negan and Rick on mine and Carl. So, and according to AMC's Story Sync, it was 150 kills apiece. So, as far as that goes, we're neck and neck there.
Yeah, we got mad points. But it was one of the coolest walker kills that we've seen, I think, on the show. It was a hell of a lot of fun seeing them take the walkers out that way. I really enjoyed it. Then it led to that really, nice, sappy, emotional moment with Michonne and Rick, as she said something along the lines of, we're not the ones that die or something like that. I can't remember.
We can make it, baby. We can live. As she nibbles on his ear, and he's like, yeah, I'm older than you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me a minute.
Yeah, we just had a nice intense moment here. I got to catch my breath. Get my So what do you think overall? What would you give what is it? The Rock in the Road. I forgot the name of the episode really quick. What would you give this out of 5 bacons?
Out of 5 bacons, I'm going to give this a 4 3/4 bacon.
Wow. Holy crap. I did not expect you to give this episode that high of a review score. I'm gonna go on the lower scale.
Okay.
Just because I really liked this episode. There were a few things that I didn't like, a la the Rosita stuff, that I didn't really understand that. But overall, it was a really fantastic episode. I loved the focal point and the focus on Ricky Grimes. That is great.
Okay, you just explained my score right there.
Yeah, that's true. I did. I mean, you do happen to have 2 Rick Grimes little stand-up guys back there behind you right now. So I understand you giving us this episode a really high review because it had a lot of Rick Grimes.
Yes.
I think his shirt did his shirt sort of like, come open? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to go back.
Smiled.
Yeah, he did.
Smiled.
He did smile. That's at least worth like 4 bacons right there.
I would think so.
I'm gonna give this episode 4 out of 5 bacons.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it, and I think that we're on a nice trajectory up for the back half of season 7. So we want to know you guys' thoughts. What did you think of The Rock in the Road? Let us know in the comment box down below. And again, if you have any topics that you want us to discuss, let us know, because we will be discussing those later on this week. I believe we're recording Wednesday, so...
And that's the plan so far. And you can go to our Facebook page, which is The Ranting Dead. Or I'm just saying, anybody that's listening on podcast form, they cannot comment in the comment
that's
box
true.
down below.
I apologize. Yes, you can go. Yes, you can find us on The Ranting Dead, or you can email us. It's rantpocalypse@gmail.com. I always forget. We're doing this for 2 mediums. We're doing it for audio and video at the same time. So yeah, I apologize to you audio listeners out there for being an asshole and not saying where you could go find us as well. So,
what a jerk.
I know. Well, I'm going to get back to my anti-nausea drink that I've been drinking since I've been sick. I'm going to go have fun.
And the flu is awesome, isn't it?
The flu is great, guys. It's so much fun. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.